This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Monday, the 29th day of November in the year 2021. I'm Gordon Mosley, thanking you for joining us, and here's what we're tracking tonight. In wake of the discovery of a new variant of coronavirus that the medical community has flagged as fast as spreading and more infectious, President Irfan Ali is encouraging citizens who are still to be vaccinated to make the choice and get vaccinated soon. In a statement, the president said at this stage, vaccination is the only weapon to fight off the new variant, as scientists try to learn more about it.
Now we're still waiting for the details from WHO. But what I can say to you is that our only tool to be ahead of all these variants, our only tool to be ahead of all the changes and mutations that we're seeing is vaccination. If it is that this variant is far more infectious, then the only thing that can protect us is the vaccination. The only thing that would slow hospitalization is the vaccination. The only thing that would slow death rate and actually very successfully is the vaccination. We have the vaccines available.
The new COVID-19 variant named Omicron was first detected in South Africa. Since then, cases of the new variant have popped up in several countries around the world. A number of countries have made the decision to close their borders to travel from South Africa and neighboring countries. Guyana has not yet moved in that direction of implementing any travel ban, but President Ali said the government would like to see more vaccines rolled out to Guyanese.
There is only one way we can be ahead of fighting this pandemic. That is to be vaccinated. Those who are qualified for the booster, make that decision. Take the booster. This is our only chance of fighting off and being aggressively ahead of the impact of any variants on our country.
Over 77% of Guyana's adult population has received the first dose of one of the COVID-19 vaccines, while 54% of the country's adult population is now fully vaccinated. The Ministry of Health continues to encourage persons who took the first shot of one of the vaccines to ensure they return for their second dose to be fully vaccinated against COVID-19. More news coming up in just a moment.
I'm feeling it! You know it? That Christmassy feeling? Friend, I'm ready for everything. All the decorations and lights. Bring on all the Christmas goodness. And I heard GTT is giving away millions in cash and prizes for the season. It just doesn't get any better. Multiple draws, multiple chances to win, live radio giveaways of cash, grocery vouchers, phone credit, and more. Free data, free calls, and free accessories with the purchase of every handset. Sign up, top up, pay any GTT bill or purchase a handset to get a chance to celebrate with GTT and MMG. Together we celebrate, together we win. GTT, together we rise.
The light on your face, no mask will hide.
Feel the joy burn deep inside.
Let's have a great Christmas this year.
You, me, and Republic Bank, my dear.
Whatever you need, light up your Christmas with Republic Bank and get a chance to win $825,000 in cash prizes. Plus, get a chance to give a family a Christmas hamper in your name. Log on to republicguyana.com for more details. Let's light up Christmas.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, Buster $100. Come get your Buster, Buster $100.
Guyana, it's finally here! You can now shop online in Guyana using your Visa, MasterCard, or PayPal, and have the items delivered to your door within hours. Shop on Fizarro.com and never deal with the hassle of shopping again. Shop from electronics, beauty products, clothing, you name it. Fizarro, Guyana's premier e-commerce marketplace.
Jungle Jam! Jungle Jam!
Jungle Jam!
Find as many as you can. Jungle Jam!
Jungle Jam!
The animals are waiting. Monkeys, giraffes,
Dinosaurs!
real excitement in a chocolate bar. Elephant, toucan,
Jaguar!
which ones will you find? Young in the Jungle Jam.
Jungle Jam!
Find as many as you can. Jungle Jam.
Jungle Jam!
Which ones will you find? Give me one dembe for my whole family.
With love and passion by our dedicated team of fine bakers, we give you Dembake. With the same great quality you're used to, we now have a slightly new look. Here in Land of Canaan, we are ready to give you even more. Don't wait until you're hungry. Reach for a slice of Dembake. Dembake, healthy, wholesome living.
Mom, what are you doing with GPL on your list?
Child, you forgot I have to pay GPL?
You got time with GPL?
I have to keep these lights on. The customers who think in that manner and refuse to honor their obligation to GPL are obviously not playing their part in ensuring quality service delivery. So, I will continue to pay my GPL bill on time, every time.
I recognize the value of your point, Mom. You were right.
Mobile Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Mobile Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc.
Let GBTI make your dreams of owning a home a reality. Buy or build your home with us. Let us help you to completely outfit your home and make it move-in ready. Need to purchase land? We finance that too. Benefit from our 10% down payment and interest rates as low as 4.25%. Calculated on the reducing balance with up to 30 years to repay. Switch your mortgage to us and learn about benefiting from the equity in your home. Invest wisely. Apply online or call your branch to schedule an appointment. GBTI, we see Guyana through your eyes.
While facing backlash over a statement he made on radio that in the black community in Guyana, black children are in need of lots of examples of success, Minister of Culture Charles Ramson attempted to clarify his statement this afternoon. In a video message posted to his Facebook page and reading from a prepared script, the minister said his earlier statement did not say there are no black role models. He said there are many Afro-Guyanese role models and many of them have shaped his political and legal life.
Of course, there are many Afro-Guyanese role models. And in this context, the role model is a law-abiding and productive member of society who carries himself or herself in a respectable way. For example, my godfather, Ashton Chase, who was one of the persons who helped raise me, he's a role model, he's Afro-Guyanese. In fact, he's one of the most distinguished and respectable men I've ever known. There are thousands of Afro-Guyanese professionals like doctors, judges, lawyers, engineers, or men and women in the discipline and public service, all of whom are role models. Our Prime Minister is an example.
Mr. Ramson went on to explain that during an interview on the afternoon lockdown program last Friday, he was defending the award of a contract for the construction of a school to the recently formed Statement Construction Company, which has the director of Hits and Jams Entertainment and the Kashif and Shanghai organization as its principals. The award of the contract to the company has come in for some criticism, as questions were raised about the procurement process and the award of a large contract to a new company. Ramson said he was giving an opinion as a politician and also sharing his view about the APNU-AFC's time in office and some of its perceived failures in the Afro-Guyanese community, which forms a large base of that party. Ramson came under heavy criticism over the weekend from several prominent Afro-Guyanese who saw his statement as prejudicial and one that was meant to gaslight racial issues. Prominent Guyanese professor in the US, Dr. Vibert Cambridge, in a statement said, "It is most unfortunate when Guyana's minister responsible for the nation's cultural development is consistent in stoking divisiveness and not promoting or encouraging solidarity in the country." The opposition APNU-AFC has also criticized Ramson over the statement. In a release yesterday, the opposition leader Joe Harmon said the statement by the culture minister was one that was biased, prejudicial, and laced with racial undertones.
His lecture was one that was laced with racial undertones, was biased and prejudicial. As leader of the opposition, I strongly condemn Ramson's verbal liantry. They believe by Ramson that he has the authority to speak on such matters in the manner in which he did is not limited to him, but rather this is a mindset that is pervasive in the People's Progressive Party.
And earlier today, well-known businessman and civil engineer Charles Series chastised the culture minister over some of his statements with regards to wealth and the Afro-Guyanese community.
Your analysis is flawed, and I think your analysis is also informed by the historical perspective of the PPP. The historical perspective of the PPP is shaped by Cherry Jagan's words, which said that black people are at the bottom of the ladder. So what you are in fact doing right now is that you are simply continuing the trend which is intended to ensure that black people remain at the bottom of the ladder. If you are going to take the APNU AFC to task for their inability to empower African Guyanese people, then you certainly should take your party to task for doing likewise. There is no difference between the policies of the APPP and the APNU when it comes to African Guyanese people, and it's all fueled by your colonial mindset, which says that we are entitled to nothing.
Mr. Series also said if Mr. Ramson is so concerned about the wealth gap in the Afro-Guyanese community, then he needs to ensure his government puts policies in place that would close that gap and create real development in the Afro-Guyanese community. Series said he has not seen any such move. Well, even as the government begins preparations for the retroactive payment of that 7% salary increase for public servants, the Guyana Public Service Union continues to issue a call for there to be collective bargaining and negotiations when it comes to salary increases in the public sector. In its latest statement on the issue, the union accused the government of frustrating the collective bargaining process and ignoring the requirements of the Constitution and international labor conventions with the imposition of the 7% increase covering 2 years. The GPSU said despite its repeated requests, it was never granted an audience with the government to discuss any salary increases and other workers-related issues in the public service, reminding that the union first sought to engage the government on issues in the public service back in September last year, 1 month after the government took office. The Guyana Public Service Union has also taken offense to the suggestion by the president that its objection to the imposition of the salary increase is politically motivated. The GPSU said it has always decried the hijacking by governments of the collective bargaining process repeatedly, and did so during the last government's time in office. According to the union, when it is all said and done, the government's conduct in the matter is unconstitutional and unlawful. President Irfan Ali has justified a salary increase. In an address to the nation last Friday, the president declared that public servants are now far better off. The Public Accounts Committee has put together the names of 8 possible choices for the important Public Procurement Commission, but only 5 persons will eventually be chosen. The names of 26 persons were initially put forward by the 2 sides in the Public Accounts Committee, but that number was reduced as the key members of the committee met. Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee and Opposition Member of Parliament, German Figuera, said the process appears to be moving forward, and the shortlisted names will now be perused by the government and the opposition for the final 5 to be chosen.
We have to take those names to our respective parties to further deliberate before we come to the finality of the 5 names that are required to fill the positions as members of the Public Procurement Commission. We are still in that process. It has not yet been concluded, but I believe we would have made significant strides to come in close to the position of us naming the candidates to fill the various positions at the Commission.
1 week ago, the opposition members of the Public Accounts Committee called out the government side over the absence of the Public Procurement Commission, as the government continues to hand out billions of dollars in contracts. The chairman of the PAC said he's hopeful that at the next meeting there will be an agreement on the nominees, and the 5 persons will be selected to serve on the Public Procurement Commission.
Reach a position where both sides agree on the names, and that announcement can be done as early as Monday of next week.
The Public Procurement Commission is a constitutional body set up to scrutinize contracts being awarded through the government's procurement process, and also to investigate complaints from contractors. Let's tell you now that the Guyana Police Force has issued a warning to private security companies and other persons against their use of emergency sirens and flashing lights on their motor vehicles. In a statement, the police force said the practice is a flagrant violation of the law, and it intends to go after those persons and security companies that have been using the sirens and flashing lights that should only be used by emergency vehicles of the police force, the fire service, and ambulances. The police force said any other vehicle outfitted with sirens and flashing emergency lights would be in breach of the law. The force is calling on private security companies and other persons who have the emergency sirens and lights attached to their vehicles to have them removed or face the consequences of prosecution. Let's tell you now that the Guyana Water Incorporated GWI has announced that it will be restarting its disconnection campaign in time for the holiday season, when there is usually an increase in demand for water. The countrywide campaign, Let It Flow and Keep the Glow, is targeting customers with outstanding balances as well as current charges, according to the company. The company has also announced that it has extended its opening hours beyond weekends and will be open to facilitate payments on the 4th, 11th, and 18th of December from 9 o'clock in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. The company said it has recorded a significant increase in its water production and usage since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, and that has resulted in a much higher production cost. Revenues have been consistent with the increased consumption, the company said, and as a result, the utility is forced to roll out its disconnection campaign with the aim of recovering its operational costs. It was a deadly weekend on the country's roadways as a number of road accidents recorded deaths. A 48-year-old man from West Rhineville died on Saturday afternoon after sustaining injuries in a vehicular accident along the Mucka-Arcadia access road on the east bank of the Marara. The dead man was identified as Euclid Joseph. According to a police report, Joseph and 3 others were passengers in a car being driven by 21-year-old Aaron Rodriguez, who is a special constable in the police force. Eyewitnesses reported that Rodriguez was driving the car westward on the southern side of the road at a fast rate when he suddenly lost control and ended up on the other side of the road, slamming into a utility pole. Police in the area and public-spirited citizens rushed across to the scene and got the injured persons out of the wreckage. They were all taken to the Diamond Hospital, where Euclid Joseph was pronounced dead. The injured persons were admitted and they were identified as Raymond Joseph, Samantha Andrews, and Lashani Young. A breathalyzer test was administered to the driver, Aaron Rodriguez, but it found no trace of alcohol in his system. In Berbice, a 28-year-old motorcyclist from Stanleytown died on the spot on Saturday night when he lost control of his motorcycle and slammed into a concrete culvert. The dead youth has been identified as Rodriguez Antoine. A police report said the incident occurred as a young biker was riding his motorcycle at a fast rate along the Strand Public Road in New Amsterdam. The youth suffered multiple injuries to his head and body and was picked up in an unconscious state and taken to the New Amsterdam hospital, where doctors pronounced him dead on arrival. A full post-mortem examination is to be performed on his body. And on Sunday, a 20-year-old youth in the quarantine area also lost his life. His name was Samuel Singh. The police said that he was driving a tractor in the West Kanji-Berbice area in a rice field when it toppled and pinned him down under the water. The young man's father was in the area, and upon seeing the accident, he saw the assistance of other farmers who were nearby, and they removed the son's lifeless body from under the tractor. He was rushed to the New Amsterdam hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. The Guyana Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit is this evening continuing its investigation in the discovery of just over 1 pound of cocaine, which was found neatly stashed in 5 sealed brown envelopes with Christmas cards at the post office here in Georgetown. The cocaine-filled cards were destined for Brooklyn, New York. The bust took place on Friday. In a statement, Kanu said the cocaine carried a total weight of 647.6 grams, with an estimated street value of $3.4 million. There have been no arrests, but the investigations are still ongoing as Kanu tries to track down the sender. Mobile Special and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Mobile Special and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, Buster $100. Dollar, come get your Buster, Buster $100.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
I'm feeling it! You know it? That Christmassy feeling? Friend, I'm ready for everything! All the decorations and lights. Bring on all the Christmas goodness! And I heard GTT is giving away millions in cash and prizes for the season. It just doesn't get any better. Multiple draws, multiple chances to win, live radio giveaways of cash, grocery vouchers, phone credit, and more. Free data, free calls, and free accessories with the purchase of every handset. Sign up, top up, pay any GTT bill or purchase a handset to get a chance to celebrate with GTT and MMG. Together we celebrate, together we win. GTT, together we rise.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up, fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, Britain's Prince Charles is in Barbados as the Caribbean country is celebrating the founding of its republic and the removal of the Queen as the head of state, cutting imperial ties some 400 years after English ships first arrived in Barbados. Barbados won independence from Britain in 1966, but retained Queen Elizabeth as its official sovereign. She will be replaced with a Barbadian president in an inauguration ceremony to be held when the country celebrates independence tomorrow. Shedding the final vestiges of colonial system that once spanned the globe will not have a direct impact on Barbados' economy or trade relations. Prince Charles is expected to deliver a speech just after midnight on Tuesday, saying that much of the relationship between the two nations will remain the same. Buckingham Palace says the issue is a matter for the people of Barbados to decide. It will mark the first time in 3 decades that the Queen is removed as head of state. Mauritius, an island in the Indian Ocean, proclaimed itself a republic in 1992. The celebration began earlier today and will extend into tomorrow, when Sandra Mason will be inaugurated as the first president of Barbados. She will be serving largely as a symbolic figure behind the Prime Minister, Mia Mottley. In Honduras, the opposition and the ruling party are both claiming victory in the presidential election, which took place yesterday. A strong turnout lifted the leftist contenders' hopes of ending a dozen years of conservative National Party rule. If the opposition standard bearer Zamora Castro wins, she will become the first female president in Honduras and return the left to power for the first time since her husband, former President Manuel Zelaya, was deposed in a 2009 coup. After polls closed, the ruling party also declared victory for its candidate, while Zelaya did the same for his wife. However, snags at hundreds of voting sites will likely delay results, officials have said. The Electoral Council said more than 2.7 million voters had already cast ballots, a figure it described in a statement as a massive turnout, with more votes yet to be counted. The initial turnout is largely up on the 2017 total, the council said. But nearly 8% of the 5,755 polling stations were having transmission problems, filing vote tallies with electoral authorities, which will delay results. And finally tonight, international news. US President Joe Biden has called the Omicron COVID variant a cause for concern, not a cause for panic, one day after it was detected in North America. Cases have been found in Canada, and his speech from the White House comes as U.S. travel bans on 8 African countries took effect. Mr. Biden also urged people to get a booster shot and to wear face masks. He said he does not anticipate any further U.S. travel restrictions or lockdowns at this time. In remarks earlier today, the U.S. president called it almost inevitable that the Omicron strain first reported in South Africa will be found in the U.S. at some point. He added that said vaccine companies are creating contingency plans for new vaccines if needed. Late last week, the U.S. announced a ban on flights from South Africa, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Namibia, Lesotho, Eswatini, Mozambique, and Malawi. Canada, the UK, and the EU and other countries have also restricted travel from Southern Africa. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.